Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you through how I made this lovely dress that I'm wearing here. I made this dress a little while back for a wedding that I was invited to. It's a mashup of two different patterns. The top is made of the Simplicity S8876, which is this lovely kind of wiggle dress 1940s vintage pattern, or vintage reproduction pattern, sorry. I really like the straight neckline and the fact that the corset was boned, which I kind of needed for this particular dress. And the skirt is made of Butterick B5882 skirt, which is a skirt that I really like. I love the fullness of it and the way that it drapes, and it's one of my favorite skirt patterns to use. I filmed most of the making of this dress when I had a chest infection, and unfortunately that actually stopped me from going to the wedding itself. But I did eventually finish the dress and I have worn it out a few times now, so I think I'm ready to show you how I made it. I didn't film all of it, mostly because I had a chest infection and I was trying to finish it in some time I took off work before the wedding. I started out with the bodice. I have done a mock-up for this a long time ago before I started making YouTube videos, and so I kind of knew that the size I'd cut would be relatively in the right shape. Looking back now, I kind of wish I'd done another mock-up just because the top has a little bit of extra space that I could probably have taken out to make the neckline not bunch up as much as it does. But I really love the outcome of the dress, so that's a small price to pay. The fabric that I used for this dress was a linen from Drapers Fabrics, I believe. I got this one in a set of 3 different linens that I picked up a long time ago, probably December of last year. It is a lovely sort of medium weight linen, and I love the red color. I absolutely adore this dress, and I have a couple of their other linens, so I have nothing bad to say about that. Their fabric is wonderful. The lining is this red cotton sheet that I got from Vinnie's. I pre-washed it and had it in my stash for a very long time. I was originally going to make a bit more of a casual dress out of it, but the red fabric is quite, it just doesn't kind of lend itself to an entire dress, if that makes sense, and I think it just complements this as a petticoat or a lining really well. So I used those fabrics. I will link in the description where I got the fabric from if I can still find the original listing, or at least just to Drapers. The way that I managed to put these two patterns together is that the side seams and darts all kind of lined up with the panels of the skirt of the Butterick pattern, so it ended up being really easy to make sure that they all aligned correctly. It also helps that the Butterick, the original corset for the dress that I got the skirt pieces from, is also boned and also kind of follows a similar construction. The only difference is the neckline is slightly different, so it was a really easy pattern to mix and match. As with most bodice patterns, it tells you to start with the darts, which is what I went ahead and did. When I had managed to put the bodice and the lining together, I went ahead and sewed in some boning. I used this Ridgeline boning. It's just a standard corset boning, and I got it online. I got a whole roll because I kind of find myself making more corsets and boned structures for the bodice of my dresses. I will say this is the second time using this kind of boning. The first time was when I actually made the complete Butterick B5882, and when I made the first dress with the boning, I realized that even though there was a lining on that dress as well, the edges of the Ridgeline is quite pokey, and so it sometimes annoys the bottom of my waist where the boning kind of sits into your skin. To avoid that this time around, I tried to sew little tabs over the ends of the boning so that that roughness wouldn't come through. It kind of worked. I still feel it a little bit in some of the bones that are maybe a little bit longer than the tabs that I put in, but for the most part that seemed to work. think next time what I might try doing is either running a quick like lighter flame over the end of the boning just to melt the sharp bits a little bit, or try sanding the end, because it wasn't quite a perfect solution to that problem. In terms of structure, the boning worked really well. I probably should have stopped the boning a little bit short on the front sections just so that it would sit more under my bust rather than go over. It doesn't give me as much shape as I would have liked. After I'd put the bodice and the lining together, the next step was to get the skirt pieces sewn together, and I just did this as per the instructions. I wrote down on a piece of paper the numbers of the pieces that had to be adjacent to each other. That way I didn't have to keep referencing the instructions, because it's pretty straightforward. You just sew all the pieces to the pieces that they're meant to be in, and hem the bottom and sew up the back seam with the zipper in, and you're pretty much done. I didn't follow the instructions for the skirt construction exactly. I kept both of the layers together in the back seam where the zipper is until the very bottom where I hemmed them different lengths.
I also had the unfortunate experience of having to troubleshoot my overlocker during making all this. It took me so long to figure out what was going on, and I'm not really sure I ever got to the bottom of it. I ended up giving up and just using 3 threads because the 4-thread function wasn't working properly. Once I got that working, I could go ahead and finish off all the seams of the lining and the main dress fabric in the skirt, and also go ahead and do the hems. The last steps I needed to do to finish off this dress were the closures and the hem, and I just put a simple invisible zipper in the back of this dress through both layers of the skirt, and did a simple rolled hem as well. At this point I was feeling pretty ill, so it was very slow going, but I got there in the end and managed to make a beautiful dress.
Overall, the construction of this dress was really simple. There weren't too many complicated bodice pieces, and there weren't any princess seams, so it actually worked out to be a relatively straightforward make. I really like the way it turned out. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this one, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I upload new videos every month and have a lot of exciting things planned for the Christmas gift sewing season. I'll leave you now with some clips of the finished dress. I had a lot of fun making this despite having a chest infection at the time, but yeah, I'm really happy with the final dress.